Hey guys, welcome back to the Jersey Comic Crew. Chris and Rob here, and we are talking about The Mandalorian, speculation, theories, everything after episode 7, The Believer. We've got the Believer fever, so come on inside and see what we got to say.
Hey guys, Rob and Chris here from the Jersey Comic Crew. We are doing our speculation video for the season finale of Mandalorian Season 2. That's episode 8, Season 2. Guys, I just want to go ahead and start by saying how amazing this show is. I loved every second of it. And now I want to do my quick theory of what we're going to get in the next episode. I think it's going to be high impact, high action. I think we're not going to waste any time. We're going to see Mando with his crew fly into Moff Gideon, probably at some random planet where there's a big science laboratory. We're going to see Grogu's captured probably in those little handcuffs and chains, the poor baby, in some basement somewhere, getting prepared to be the donor for whoever or whatever the Empire is planning. I don't necessarily think we're going to see the donor or find that out towards maybe the last fifth of the episode, right? Towards the very end, I definitely think we're going to get the Beskar armor spear versus the Darksaber. We're going to get that battle back and forth. And we're going to have Fennec and Bo-Katan just eliminate 1,000 stormtroopers in great high action. One thing I think that we're not going to get, though, I don't think we're going to get Bo-Katan here, right? So the reason I don't think we're going to get Bo-Katan in this season finale, I think they could address Bo-Katan and her wants and helping Mando next season, because you still need something for next season. And I think for Bo-Katan to come in and Mando, the way the show is paced, you kind of like believe like, all right, we would have saw Bo-Katan again, maybe for like a throwaway scene or a small scene in the last episode, and then have her come into this episode. I could be wrong, but I don't think we're going to get Bo-Katan. I think Bo-Katan's going to come down later. I think he's so concerned to just, now he has the coordinates, he's just going to rush there, try to get the baby, and get out. I think Moff Gideon's going to still be alive. I think he's going to escape with the Darksaber, and that's why we're going to get for season 3. Chris, I want to hear your thoughts, and then I do have another weird, crazy theory after you have some fun.
Oh, cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm on the aspect of, earlier I thought it was going to be like this all-out, Ahsoka's coming back, and Bo-Katan's coming back for this finale. I don't think we're going to get Ahsoka, because I think once the announcement of her own show, like, that and the Thrawn thread we were kind of pulling at, like, wondering if that was going to be in the background of Mandalore, is going to be on her side.
I agree.
I do think, though, even with all the announcements we got from Disney about everything they're doing Star Wars, the one they didn't talk about was like a Boba Fett series or a Bo-Katan and Boba Fett series or some form of that. I think that's going to continue the thread in the Mandalorian itself, and eventually next season, seasons down the road, taking back the planet of Mandalore. And I think, we're going to see Bo-Katan in this finale. I personally do. I think when Mando gave that, like, F you, I'm going to do your same words back at you Taken speech at the end of last episode. To me, that's him kind of building this team. I don't know if he can contact her or if anyone else can, but, Bo-Katan's going after the same person he is. She has all the reason to go after him because she needs that Darksaber back. So I think this could be a huge, huge episode where we get, some stuff in the beginning of them kind of planning it out where they're very good, like almost like Ocean's 11 style, who takes what. I think we're going to get almost like a 3-pronged attack. I do think Grogu's still on the ship. I think this might be something else where, the original plan in season 1 was get Grogu to this doctor so he could do his stuff. That clearly failed, right? Because Mando came in and killed everyone. I feel like Grogu is now in this like almost like a high security max prison in space.
You know what I think of when you say Grogu high security max prison? I think Lilo and Stitch. Remember when Stitch was captured by like the Imperials and he's all like chained up and all like he can't do anything? I think they're gonna do that with Grogu. That'd be crazy.
Maybe. Because I feel like the safest place for them for like the asset they need now is Moff Gideon's Imperial cruiser. I feel like Dr. Pershing's gonna have to go there. I feel like it's going to be like an opposite effect of like, no, we gave you the kid and you lost him. And we finally got him back. You're going to have to come here. And I feel like it's going to be Boba Fett and Fennec Shand in the Slave One, taking out TIE fighters and charging and trying to take out the shield generator so they can blow up the ship after they take the kid out. And I think it's going to be Mando, Bo-Katan, her squad, and Cara Dune on the inside of that ship, fighting off stormtroopers while Mando and Bo-Katan are fighting not only just Moff Gideon but his Death Troopers as well. We can't forget the Death Troopers are on this ship.
That's true. That is very true.
Extremely deadly. So I think it's going to be a mix of that, and I think obviously the biggest cliffhanger from season 1 was, oh my god, he's got the Darksaber.
Yeah. I
think now the cliffhanger is, I agree with you. I think he's going to escape. I don't think Moff Gideon's going to die.
No.
I don't think we know enough about his past and his own story yet.
Correct.
But I think the cliffhanger could be that, again, we kind of hinted at this or talked about this. The cliffhanger to me is, does Moff Gideon also rule whatever's left of the planet Mandalore? The Mandalorians that are there, like, are they going to come to his aid, where either they get the kid and they have to bolt and they don't have time to destroy the ship, or they're not going to get Grogu back at the end of this episode?
We also might learn that Moff Gideon could be Force sensitive. The reason I say that, hear me out, because everything suggests otherwise. He's just a regular guy, right? But when you look in the history of Star Wars, right, when anybody has held a lightsaber and used it, or quote unquote used it, they've had some connection with the Force, right? Usually it was always Jedi and Sith, right? Except with General Grievous, who was like a robot man, right? And even then, I think he was still Force sensitive. I forget with all the Loras. No, okay.
He was just trained, like, it's almost like fencing or knights, like they were just trained to use it.
So, but like he was you equate him mentally, like just looking at it, he's a robot. All right, whatever, he doesn't count. With Moff Gideon, if he could be Force sensitive, like we saw Finn use it, he was Force sensitive, right? He used it once. That'd be pretty cool. I think that'd be a cool thing to see. And maybe he's only Force sensitive because he's like doing the experiments on himself. I don't know. If they're gonna go into that. I think that'd just be a cool angle.
I don't think they're personally going into it, but I get what you're saying, because like our original theory was like Thrawn maybe in the background controlling Moff Gideon. If that's not the case and he's just going to be focused in the Ahsoka show, then how do you up Moff Gideon's character, right? You give him Force sensibility, but then you're opening this door that you might not be able to close of artificial Force users.
I don't think that's a bad door to open, though.
Artificial, like everyone could use the Force. I personally like the idea that he is just this awesome admiral that's really hard to take down. He's not Force sensitive, but he can still slice and dice you into 8 slices of bitcheroni with the Darksaber. I personally still like that aspect where it's like he doesn't even need the Force, and he's doing it for other plans that we may not know about, with possibly Snoke and the First Order in the background. And I'm cool with him just being like, he doesn't have the Force and you still can't stop him. That to me would still be a badass aspect of this part of the universe that doesn't necessarily have to delve into the Jedi and Sith in the completest form the way probably Ahsoka's going to do.
I heard a wild theory. It's too wild not to talk about on the show. So I was watching this with Mike, my brother, and he gave me a wild theory for Grogu, Baby Yoda. And he was like, aside from like the theory that people think that Grogu might go to the Sith, right? This is a little stranger. So he's like, all right, Mando gets Grogu back, right? And now he's going to be trained in the way of the Jedi. What if Mando teaches him in the way of the Mandalorian as well, and Grogu becomes the next Mandalorian Jedi, kind of like the first guy that created this whole thing.
Pre-Vizsla, yeah.
Yes, and now we get another Mandalorian Jedi, and Grogu is the one who inherits Mandalore and takes over all of Mandalore. And I was like, you are so crazy, and this is ridiculous, but I have to talk about it because I wanted to see...
You are talking crazy, and I like it.
I want to see your reaction, because, like, could that be a thing?
No, that'd be ultimately badass, like, basically Yoda and Mandalorian Beskar. Like,
right? Like, it's a little death ball, right? It's a death ball you can't hit, and he's jumping around, and he's swimming. Like, it'd be great. I don't know if they can do that.
I don't think it's gonna happen on the basis of the age issue, where he's already 50 and he's still a baby, right? So like, we technically don't really know when he's like teenager to full-fledged adult when he starts speaking, because obviously, I do think he will be trained in the Jedi. We talked about this in the last episode, where once we saw him at the end of episode 6, where he's force choking people and throwing them around. It seems to me that after he was on the Seeing Stone, he did choose the path of the Force.
100%.
We just don't know what happened in that escape, which I have a theory he talked to Luke Skywalker. Check out our last video.
Mm.
But which this is also a crazy theory. Right?
I'm down for a crazy theory. So what's up?
So we now know Grogu is a little more in tune with the Force. We saw that. What if Grogu now can communicate almost like how the Vulcans in Star Trek communicate, where they touch your head and you can see what's going on in them? What if he does that with Mando? And maybe Mando takes his helmet off for the first time to get him to come back to him.
Maybe.
And he touches his face and he sees what happened to Grogu, either in Grogu's past during Order 66 or when Grogu was on the Seeing Stone. And maybe he can communicate with Grogu and be like, how could you leave me after everything I've been through? You let them take me. You're supposed to protect me.
I love this theory, and I love the idea of him talking to Mando or showing him imagery. For that to happen, that is a season 3 thing. And the reason I say that is because it's going to take some time, right? Like to show all of his history. You just don't have enough minutes in the hour for that finale. So maybe. I like his theory, Chris's theory. If that were to happen, that means that Mando doesn't save Baby Yoda at the end of this episode.
Maybe.
I think I'm leaning more towards. I think he's not going to be able to save him at the end. I think season 3 is going to be on the journey to still try to save him and get to him. And maybe Baby Yoda, theory formulating right now. Maybe Baby Yoda is trying to communicate to Din Djarin through the Force, sending these messages. Yeah, Din Djarin. And then Din Djarin, his Force sensitivity is increased and he connects because he loves his child, and then Din Djarin, we go back to what I was saying, becomes the Mandalorian Jedi.
Well, there's a theory going around that, when Boba Fett was there, and was talking about his father before him, and his father was a foundling, and Mando's like, oh, I was a foundling. There was a rumor that, going around that they might be related somehow. Or the reason Din Djarin's planet was attacked and he was hidden was because, pre-Empire were going after him, knowing that Din Djarin was the descendant of Pre Vizsla, the first ever Mandalorian Jedi. So Emperor Palpatine, before he was the Emperor, was already fearing that this guy would grow up to stop him, and wasn't even thinking about Anakin and Luke in that aspect. I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's going to be more grounded. I think the series really took the grounded approach.
I mean, I do. As much fun as I'm having with the Jedi, I do agree with the fact that this show is more grounded. And they're probably going to stay with the more grounded approach. We want to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. What are your crazy theories for the season finale of Mandalorian Season 2? Do you think Mando is going to be a Jedi? Do you think Baby Yoda is going to be a Sith Lord? Is he going to be a Mandalorian Jedi? Do you think Moff Gideon is Sith? There's so many crazy theories. We want to hear your thoughts down below.
And guys, thanks so much for watching. Please give us a thumbs up, really helps the channel out a lot. Also, if you're brand new, make sure you subscribe, turn on those notifications. We have so many videos on The Mandalorian and other things. Just check everything out. And as always, I'm Chris Heller. That's Rob Moran. We are the Jersey Comic Crew, and we'll see you next time. This is the way.